be seated. And this, you know, in this country, we see a lot of greed as evidenced by circumstances, situations that we see around us. There is sometimes we see a desire of a few who are in control to maintain the status quo, because even if the status quo is outdated and doesn't benefit many, it benefits a few. This is why it took us a long time to change our election system, because it was easier to cheat under the old system. They still, there's always a way to get around things, but it's more difficult now, I believe. But that's one example. Also, another example, the outdated transport system that we have. It's just a matter of political will. I believe we have the resources. I really do. For something that would benefit the people. A massive, large-scale transport system. But somebody or a few benefit from the old system, and they want the status quo maintained because they don't want their source of income threatened. I lived in BF in Sukat, and for like more than 20 years, we had water delivered to our houses. How come, if after 20 years, somebody suddenly realized, oh, we can have indoor plumbing. And somebody like Maynila could easily do it, and they did. Why did it take a long time? Because somebody who was in power didn't want to change the status quo. Why? Because they were earning. And this is also what, I don't know if you remember this incident at Ephesus. The businessmen, what do you call them, the statue makers, the smiths, metal smiths, and the other people involved in making images of Diana, I think it was. They got mad at Paul because their business was threatened by what he was preaching. He was preaching worship of the true God, not these Greek gods. And their business was being threatened. And so they went against Paul. Not realizing that God wants the good of the whole, not just a few, earning and benefiting. And this, I believe, was also part of the Pharisees' sin. Pharisees were benefiting from the system. And they were being threatened by this new kid in town preaching the righteousness of God. Something that they themselves should have been preaching all along. But they had come up with traditions of men and systems such as what Jesus drove away from the temple, because that was what they had been used to, and it was good business for a few, even if it was oppressive to the people. See, I need to confess something to you. The New Testament, in at least 3 places, gives Balaam a bad rap. And I'm not here to defend him, but just honestly, so far, what I've read that he has said or done is good. I mean, he said, and I will just concentrate on this. Again, I will not defend Balaam, but what he did say was, what I will speak, is only what the Lord wants me to speak. And I would expand that as to say, especially to us staff and leaders, we need to do only what God wants us to do. We need to speak only what God wants us to speak. Even if it's against what we have been used to. Even if it intimidates or stirs up the hornet's nest, so to speak. Even if we struggle in obeying something new or implementing something new. We need to put in our hearts the good of the whole, the good of the people. Because that's what we are after, as Paul says. We're after the common good. Not necessarily what we've been used to, not necessarily what benefits us, not necessarily what is good for just a few, but the common good. That only is what we need to speak. That only is what we need to do and pursue. Whatever the Lord wants. Even if He uses somebody new or something new. He uses a Paul or a Jesus or mega churches or other things around us. If they're good, then they're good. What we need to do is simply just, unlike Cain, who was jealous of Abel because he had a different gift, what we need to do is just be faithful to what God has given to us, big or small, and be faithful to use the gifts He has given to us. If He made us a farmer, then we are a farmer. If He made us a shepherd, then we are a shepherd. If He made us cathedral of the King, then we're a cathedral of the King. And we operate in the gift, using the gifts that He has given us, and we do the thing, that which He has given to us. And we need to always remember what Jesus told Peter. What I will have John do. I will have John do. As for you, you follow, without being threatened. We need to focus on what God gave us to do. And not really, I'm not saying, not care about, but not worry about what He has others doing, because we are just one part of the body, and there are other parts. But we work for the whole, and for the common good, and for the benefit of the people, God's people, His body, and for His glory. Because brothers and sisters, that's the way it is in the kingdom of our God.